Is LA Knight on the brink of a legendary career, or has his climb to fame hit its peak before it's even truly begun? It's a question that keeps circling every time he walks into an arena, and the crowd roars with approval. Some call him the breakout star who found success late in the game. Others claim he's just riding the wave of clever catchphrases. Whichever side you believe, there's no denying the man captivates audiences like few others. Yet beneath the chants of "yeah," and "let me talk to you," there's a sense that everything isn't quite as smooth as it seems. He didn't appear out of nowhere, and his early days paint a picture of a wrestler who had to scratch and claw for every opportunity. Before making his way to the bright lights of WWE, he spent years on smaller circuits, refining the charisma that would later become his calling card. Plenty of wrestlers chased that same dream, but there was something about him that stood out, even in cramped venues in front of a few hundred fans. He wasn't blessed with immediate big league opportunities, and the frustration of playing second fiddle to more established names left him with a chip on his shoulder. That edge paid off when he finally landed in NXT. In an environment teeming with hungry talent, he dared to run his mouth a little louder than the rest. Crowds initially saw him as the brash newcomer who was all talk, but it didn't take long for people to realize he had the skill to back it up. During his feud over the $1 Million Championship, fans witnessed two sides of him: the comedic heel who hammed it up, and the ruthless in-ring competitor who could turn serious in a heartbeat. Whether playing up comedic elements with Cameron Grimes or standing toe-to-toe with tough veterans, he used that feud to show a range that not every performer can muster. It was that same adaptability that helped him weather one of the strangest gimmick changes of recent memory. Suddenly thrust into the role of Max Dupree, he found himself leading a group of male models in a storyline many said was doomed from the start. Rumors buzzed about tension with Vince McMahon, who possibly saw him as more of a mouthpiece than an in-ring star. Critics whispered that his window of opportunity might be closing, especially since he'd already reached an age where many wrestlers start winding down. Yet, against all odds, he made Max Dupree just compelling enough to keep people talking. Even when the entire gimmick seemed like a dead end, he gave it a level of energy that few others could manage. But all roads led back to LA Knight. When Triple H took the creative reins, the rebranding felt like a long overdue correction, especially for those fans who'd been chanting his name in frustration. The shift coincided with a feud against Bray Wyatt, someone known for eerie mind games that have derailed more than a few careers. Wyatt's ominous persona created an unsettling stage, but it also forced Knight to dig deep and prove he could hang in any storyline, even one drenched in mystery and darkness. By the time that feud wound down, his popularity soared, showing that fans craved his sarcastic swagger, no matter which side of the moral fence he happened to be on. Still, the backlash from naysayers followed. Detractors pointed out that he leaned heavily on the style of legends like The Rock and Stone Cold, especially in his promos. Accusations of mimicry overshadowed his own brand of showmanship, as if he'd spent years studying the greatest mic workers only to create a calculated mix of borrowed moves and lines. Some said it didn't matter if he borrowed the best elements from others, as long as he delivered. Others argued it made him a knockoff who'd never truly become his own man. While that debate raged on, he kept booking bigger matches, eventually finding a stable spot on the main roster. Feuds with heavy hitters like Roman Reigns and The Miz showcased his ability to trade words with the best in the business. Though he fell short in top-tier title pursuits, fans noticed that the near-miss outcomes only sparked louder support for him. It's a rare magic trick, failing to capture the biggest prize yet somehow growing in popularity because of it. Part of that appeal stems from the undercurrent that he's older than many of his peers and might be running out of time to establish a lasting legacy. Behind the scenes, there's persistent speculation that WWE management sees him as an upper card star, a solid bet for a championship chase, but not necessarily the man to carry the company's marquee belt. He's called upon to fill that main event slot when needed, but the story usually ends with him returning to the role of dependable crowd pleaser just one rung below the top. For some, it's a safe middle ground. He's too charismatic to ignore, yet not quite the unstoppable force that other main eventers. Project. Those who agree with this viewpoint argue that he's the perfect utility player. A hero fans can rally behind any time the company needs fresh energy in a big story. Others hold out hope that his next major feud might break that cycle. After all, he's shown time and again that he can reinvent himself in ways that keep people guessing. Whether it's comedic angles, intense rivalries, or bizarre storylines, he rarely looks out of place. The question is whether WWE will take a chance on him when there's always a younger contender waiting in the wings. Age, while it may just be a number in real life, can cast a long shadow in professional wrestling, especially when it comes to planning for the future. There's a belief that unless he scores a major title soon, the window may close for good. That's also part of the charm. Fans sense he's racing against the clock, and it adds a layer of urgency to every match he wrestles. When he cuts a promo promising that this time he won't be denied, people want to believe him because they know he doesn't have decades to keep trying. They cheer for him because they suspect he's the ultimate underdog who happens to have the swagger of a champion. Even as the momentum slows down every now and then, those cheers never truly fade. For many viewers, the unstoppable fan support is proof he's not just a clone of past greats. He's forging his own path. Whether he's captured the United States Championship or teased a bigger showdown for the undisputed WWE Championship, you get the sense he's always pushing for that next leap. Yet the critics persist, pointing to each failed main event as evidence of a ceiling he can't break through. Everyone seems to have an opinion, from insiders who say he's best used to elevate mid-card talent, to loyal fans who believe he could be the face of the company if given the right storyline. Some watchers note how LA Knight's success directly benefits WWE's overall product. He's reliable in big match scenarios, as seen when he stepped in for marquee spots or took part in multi-man feuds. He draws attention and sells merch, factors that matter in a brand-driven environment. In short, he's the kind of performer who helps fill arenas, even if he's not the headliner. That might be enough for the suits behind the scenes, but it doesn't quell the excitement of those who chant his name night after night, believing he deserves the ultimate payoff. And there's the lingering possibility that the best is yet to come. Wrestling history is full of late bloomers who finally reached the pinnacle when everyone counted them out. The synergy between LA Knight and the crowd is rare, and this kind of genuine connection can force a company's hand over time. All it takes is the right match, the right storyline, and the perfect moment for the entire wrestling world to turn on its head. Yet the question remains, is he fated to remain a beloved upper-tier performer who thrills the audience but never quite seizes the biggest prize? Or is he destined for a run that cements him as one of the greatest of his generation? WWE has a way of throwing curveballs, and if he's proven one thing, it's that he can adapt to any twist or turn they give him. He's older than the new breed coming in, but that's never stopped him from breaking barriers, fueling rumors, and turning skeptics into believers. For now, LA Knight stands at a crossroads, juggling crowd adoration, backstage politics, and the ever-present threat of younger talent ready to leapfrog anyone in their way. Whether he shatters expectations or settles into a steady role just below the main event, he's found a way to keep people talking. And in a world where one quiet week can sink your momentum, that's a powerful gift. Maybe he'll hold a major title once again. Maybe he won't. But he's not just an echo of Stone Cold or The Rock. He's the kind of enigma that only comes around once in a while. One thing's for sure, the story isn't over. Whenever he steps through the curtain, he brings that peculiar blend of swagger and heart, as if each appearance could be the moment when everything changes. If he does reach the top, the entire WWE universe will likely erupt, celebrating the man who seemed destined to do it all along. And if not, well, he'll still stand as living proof that wrestling isn't just about winning the biggest prize. It's about captivating an audience and leaving them wanting more. The future may be uncertain, but that's exactly what makes him so riveting to watch.